As you have been told, I'm Daniel Kobei from Ogiek community and also the founder director of Ogiek Peoples Development Program in Kenya. And I can say that there's a subject which we are discussing. It is true that it's a subject which to me, more or less, it is metamorphosizing into different approaches. And let me just say, from the perspective of my community, most of the people, when REDD started in Kenya, some of us were among those who were consulted, or rather those who underwent discussions about REDD, that is reducing emission on deforestation and degradation. And this as Carol was saying, it was meant to look like it will be a solution. But in reality, what we have seen, it has changed into a new thing. And as I will also echo the fact that this has been what you call forced climate change solutions, forced carbon or forced conservation solutions, which has affected especially the forest indigenous communities. I know not only in Kenya and but many other indigenous communities, mostly in Africa and other parts of Latin America. But for this case, in Kenya, when it started, it was linked or focused towards indigenous or forest communities. That is the Sengwer of Cherangani, the Ogiek of Mount Elgon, the Ogiek of Mau, the Yaku people, the Aware, the Boni Forest. This is what I call hunter-gatherers, people who are historically hunters and gatherers. So these communities were people who are within the forested areas. And indeed, this has led us to forming what we call hunter-gatherers forum in Kenya, which was meant to address some of the violations which are related to the so-called climate change solutions, the so-called conservation. All these things have been making the people or the communities to suffer a lot because of the issues which are linked to the so-called solutions or remedies which were meant to help in deforestation. In Kenya, the issue of deforestation is being talked day and night. Now it is changing to issues related to carbon credit, carbon market, and those of you have been following, there's a lot of issues which are related to carbon market, which has led to some of the communities, especially the Ogiek community, they've been evicted, displaced, and this has led to their children not going to school. Most recently, the one of 2023, which led to almost 700 Ogiek in a place called Sasemwani. They were evicted in the name of things which are related to REDD, and especially now they no longer talk much about REDD, but they talk about carbon market or carbon credit. And this led to that all these communities are interfering with the forest. This because one thing is that our government has never respected what we call free, prior, informed consent, whereby the Ogiek community are not consulted, and many other communities which are faced, like the Sengwer in Cherangani, Emboput Forest, where they have been evicted. Some of our brothers in Mount Elgon also have been affected negatively on this issue of REDD, or right now they don't talk about REDD as such. They are mostly geared towards the so-called carbon credit, and we are told there is a lot of communication from other countries whereby they are saying their market, they are buying or carbon so that they continue polluting wherever they are in other countries, and yet the communities, the so-called indigenous communities themselves, are facing the effect of this. Now that they used to depend on forest issues, they are no longer getting most of this. Some of them, like herbal medicine, now they'll get less of this because now the access and in some parts of the forest have been interfered. This also has led to, you could remember the issue of Ogiek community facing issues, going to court, a lot of litigation has been happening among indigenous communities because of the so-called evictions, which are caused by these four solutions. And also this kind of litigation is that I've always said if they could only allow the communities to protect their ecosystem, to protect their forest, I think we'll have less of these challenges we are facing. And right now you find the Ogiek, we are both in the issue of the court, which we won in 2017, and the reparation in 2022. There's been a delay in implementation. They form commissions to be able to do the implementation, but they don't implement. And not only that, they violate the basics, including evicting the communities. And whatever consultation going on in the name of REDD, most of them are not done. We can also see that when UNDP came up with safeguards from the forest carbon facility, where they were saying that they are seeing how these particular safeguards can be done for the indigenous peoples, but their involvement has been very, very minimal. And a lot of finances which are related to this carbon credit or which are linked to REDD are not reaching to indigenous peoples. And no wonder that they have been trying to discuss that they want the finances to go to the indigenous peoples. But we don't know, or rather the indigenous people we are talking about, either they are those who are national or rather in the cities, but mostly the grassroots organization. They don't benefit much from these finances which come because of carbon credit or because that's the language they are using mostly right now. The issue of REDD seems to have taken a law wherever in the climate change systems, because when we are talking about climate change, people now, that's why when we all these are happening, many people do not even talk about deforest or reforestation or rehabilitation. As a community, we have done a lot. We have been trying to do rehabilitation. We have done over 1 million trees in Eastern Mau, and we are doing others even right now. But there is less because we even don't know how, because many people do not understand what this carbon market means, what this REDD means, because it is affecting them negatively. Instead, the beneficiaries are those who have already known how to calculate the issue of carbon, they've known how to deal with the issue of REDD, but they are not reaching these communities. So the impact is so severe, because when you talk of people leaving, being evicted or being dispossessed, it has other impact, food security, it has other impact on education, because their children are not going to school. And other effect is that the community have a lot of mental health. I know this is an issue. The issue of mental health is a subject which many people don't discuss, but it has affected my community. There's a project we tried doing 2 years ago. We realized a lot of our people, some have even died because of mental health related to eviction. And this eviction has been orchestrated by the fact that the communities, there will be a protection of the forest. So as we talk about that they will be protected, it means that that you want to protect, but you are not concerned about the custodian or the people who have been taking care of the same forest over generation. Personally, I was born and brought up in Mau Forest Complex, so I don't know what, when you come and say that this is not your land, and yet your grandfather and your great-grandfather was there, you don't really understand where is this at home. So I want to sincerely say that when we discuss this subject, we have to be careful. The impact about these issues are very, very there and really affects indigenous peoples. Thank you very much.